The First Coast's most accurate forecast from the First Coast News Weather Team, certified by Weather Rate, sponsored by AC Designs.
Hi there, friends. I'm meteorologist Robert Speta, joined by meteorologist Lee Southwick, and today we're talking a little. We're taking some of your questions. We're talking a little weather here on our Tuesday. Lee, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. I mean, I love weather like this. We have a lot to talk about, but when it's what's the forecast, don't want to ruin anything, but I'll just say warmer side of things. It's a good week for me.
But there's some caveats to that, you know.
Oh yes, there is, and it's not good news, unfortunately.
Also, do have a couple questions. I just put it out on social media, and I cherry picked kind of some of the best questions that some of you asked. And a good bulk of this video is going to be this stream. I have a conversation with Nir Staub. He is from Geneva, Switzerland. He's one of the directors of the World Meteorological Organization.
It's huge, by the way. It's so cool you got this interview.
Oh, I was so happy. He was so informative. And he talked to me about AI weather models and like how that is changing the game and may eventually put us out of a job. So let's hope not.
Not cool. But I'm really interested to see what he had to say. I mean, that's a very important person in the meteorological world. Really, like we're talking worldwide, obviously World Meteorological Organization. So really excited for that interview, Robert.
All right. So first, let's get to the forecast out there today. Actually, I want to start off with national temperatures here because we got that cold air off. Look at Bismarck, Lee. And then, sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry. I
said no. Just no. The southeast and also parts of Texas seeing some very warm temperatures out there today. But I want to change our attention over to the southwest. Have you seen what's been going on over in California?
Tell me all about it.
Well, they've been seeing some flooding. It's just this cutoff low pumping in moisture. It's not quite a like a bomb cyclone, but it really has been pumping the rainfall onshore there across parts of the southwest. And then this heads into places like Arizona. You see southern areas in Nevada, Vegas seeing a little bit of rainfall, and it's just an abundance of moisture. Now, overall, this low is going to work its way towards the east, and it could by next weekend increase our rain. But you were just saying you dropped down the precip for our forecast over the weekend. Is that right?
I did. Well, it depends on what day you're talking about. So this morning we had 30% on Saturday, 10% on Sunday. I went 20-20. I'm not impressed with the rainfall that we will see so far from what we're about to look at together here. And also, while yesterday it was really pinpointing Saturday, some models this morning kind of slowing it down and having that rain actually come in on Sunday. And so that's why I just kind of split both days. It's one of those we have to watch and wait and see how strong it stays to see how much rain it brings us, and we need it to bring us rain. And then also the timing, how fast or slow that's moving.
But one of the reasons why probably not going to see a lot is this right here, right? The ridge of high pressure, which is just keeping things dry but also warm.
Yeah.
What days do you think we could be seeing actually record-breaking, or at least near record-breaking?
Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday.
So several days of warm air out here. The problem, though, as Ali just alluded to here a moment ago, is the caveats. So what do we got going on here? It's just too dry, right?
It is. Okay, so we have, that's extreme drought that you see for places like Waycross towards Folkston, all of that red there, that deep red. That is extreme drought. And then the orange, so for places like Lake City, that's a severe drought. Even the sandy color, which encompasses a lot of Duval County, up into Fernandina Beach, coastal southeast Georgia, that's moderate drought conditions. So still under drought for a good portion of Jacksonville. The only areas here not under any sort of drought-like conditions would be St. Johns County and Flagler County. But Robert, when we take a look at the rainfall that we've seen recently, what's normal for the month of November, look how little rain there has been for places like St. Johns and Flagler. So although right now they're not technically under that drought condition, I'm afraid we're about to start to see that too, because we've had a big fat goose egg for measurable rainfall at the Jacksonville airport over the entire month of November so far. Not any sort of rain. So we really need rain over the weekend. And again, it's not looking like a lot, looking maybe 20%. And so with that said, as Robert pulled up here, the ground is so dry, the air is so dry. Unfortunately, we are now under a fire danger, Robert.
Yeah, and it's just this, the humidity is down, you mentioned the air. And also another caveat to that too is that frost we got last week. A lot of the more sensitive plants have died.
Yeah.
That is something fuel for the potential for burning. And I did see last week in Nassau County, we actually had a wildfire out there. So that fire threat is there. It's not incredibly high, but it is definitely there.
The winds aren't bad enough to be under sort of red flag warnings or anything like that, but we just want you to know that it is dry enough that if you're not careful with your cigarette or please no bonfires, but anything like that, any sort of spark, if your car is sparking, if you're dragging a chain or anything like that, that grass can catch on fire like that.
All right. Well, we're going to take a look at this extended forecast. This is really beautiful weather out here. It is dry, but it's nice. How long will this last? And how about that Thanksgiving forecast? And we're taking some of your weather questions here in just a minute. So we'll be right back after this break.
Cut the cord, get the app, stream free. Download the First Coast News Plus app, your trusted source for news, your weather, all your sports, and so much more on your time. Yeah, your schedule. It's your most accurate forecast, your weather impact alerts, extended breaking news coverage, and exclusive specials at a time that is convenient to you and your family. Download First Coast News Plus and watch for free, right now.
I knew I needed physical therapy to be able to get back to doing the things I want to do, specifically golf.
Throughout Brooks Rehabilitation, with the 50+ locations we have, we see people with many injuries across the board. We're really looking to individualize a treatment plan and create goals together. That way they can get back to the sport or activity they love to do.
I would definitely recommend Brooks to anyone who needs physical therapy. It enabled me to get back on the golf course to do what I want to do.
Nothing breeds competition and camaraderie in a community like sports. It gets your adrenaline up. Sports has a unique way of bringing people together. Your First Coast sports team understands that. We go beyond the X's and O's and to the heart of the game, where wins don't always make winners and the L's don't necessarily make losers, and where the highlights sometimes mean more than the trophy. It's where the real stories are told.
Sports Finals sponsored by Farah and Farah, Sunday nights at 11:30 and streaming on First Coast News Plus.
Why do we come here? To reach for new heights, to dive to depths. You can call it a team, even a community. That connection with others. We all deserve that. Why come here? This is why.
Swing to luxury, where golf and community come home. Located in St. John, Florida, Stillwater is a premier 55-plus active adult where golf is in your backyard. This bundled golf course community features a championship 18-hole course, top tracer practice facility, and resort-style amenities. Whether perfecting your swing or connecting with neighbors, Stillwater offers the perfect blend of relaxation and recreation. Live where every day feels like a getaway.
Maybe you're new to all this streaming, OTT, on-demand stuff. You need a trusted news and weather source, and we've got you with First Coast News Plus.
That's some pretty serious cold.
Accurate forecast, your weather impact alerts,
heavy law enforcement presence,
extended breaking news coverage,
news right now out of Camden County, Georgia,
and exclusive specials on your schedule. So download First Coast News Plus and start for free.
Well, I am here with Nir Staff from the World Meteorological Organization. Sir, thank you very much for taking time to talk with me here today about the future of weather forecasting and how it's kind of changing with AI models becoming much more prevalent today. First off, so do you mind introducing yourself and where you are joining me from here?
Yeah, so I'm sitting in WMO, which is the World Meteorological Organization. The headquarters sit in Geneva, and we are the organization that helps coordinate the work of meteorologists all around the world, be it in modeling, like the talk we have today, or in measurements and satellites. And all those things. So, but we are only the secretariat sitting here in Geneva. Actually, WMO is a network of the meteorological services around the world. So wherever you are, you have the National Meteorological Service. It is a part of the WMO community.
And it really is. I do have to give a shout out to the WMO because it's one of those like global organizations that everybody partakes in, and it's absolutely incredible what you guys do. So you're the people I want to talk to about the changing and the future of meteorology, and specifically related to AI. So I'm going to put the first question, the basic question out. So when we talk about AI weather models, a lot of people, they see AI and they imagine ChatGPT or something like that. But what is an AI weather model and how does it differ from your classic numerical models like the GFS or the ECMWF or anything like that?
So actually, there are various types of AI, and some of them may look like the Chat GPT thing. At the end, it might work like that. So at the end, you might have GPT that you will ask, should I take the umbrella now that I'm going to walk with the dog or not? And you'll get an answer. But we are not there yet. So the current models are trying to do something very similar to the regular models, and that is to simulate what will happen in the atmosphere. So we have what we call the grid. That is, you take all the data and spread it in equal distance around the globe and various levels. And you have temperature, humidity, and wind, and clouds, and all those atmospheric components. The weather models simulate it. Say, okay, if this is the situation now, what will happen in the next step, and then next step, etc. And you try to go to the next days and maybe even next weeks, right? So that's up to now. All this modeling or simulation of the atmosphere was done by using equations of physics, Newton laws or whatever, fluid dynamics, although thermodynamics, all of them are there inside, and they are crunching those numbers and producing the forecast. What AI does is that AI doesn't know physics. So it's a different approach, and you may call statistical approach, because what AI is trying to figure out the statistical relations actually between what's happening now and what happens after a while and what happens next. So the methodology is to try to get in as much as data as possible about the history. This is called the training period of an AI model. You feed it with this is what happened, and then this is what happened 6 hours later, and this is what happened 6 hours later, and the next day this is what happened, and that is what happened 6 hours, etc. And in that way, the system learns from those things, and intelligence in a way that is very similar to the way our brains, when we try to understand the world, we do it with equations, right? We have, a network inside the brain that is doing exactly the same type of mathematical calculation, and is learning from experience, right? So that's what the AI models are doing. But actually, when you learn from experience, you learn physics, not implicitly. For instance, everybody knows that if I take a ball and lift, it will fall to the ground, right? When experience, not from then, of course, if we are a student in university, we know to calculate how fast it will move, etc. But the AI methodology is similar to that, and it is already producing a very accurate forecast.
And I guess that is, well, two follow-ups there. So it learns. So if it gets something wrong, does it learn like, okay, next time I should do it this way? So, for example, if you have a storm going in one direction, actually goes in a different direction, does the AI see that and go, okay, in the future, I know that if this happens, this happens? Is that what you're kind of saying here?
Actually, yes. So it learns from errors. Actually, it has something that is called a cost function. That is, you tell it what is right, what is wrong, and then it starts to adjust its it's called weights, the inner calculations, to try and reduce the cost, to try to reduce. And if you give it a good, definition of what error is, then the mathematical model or the system will gradually get to a better and better result. That's the essence. Can retrain. So it to something it works, but then you have a new data set you can read, and it will improve.
So I guess the elephant in the room, the big question is, how does this match up then against numerical models, the classic, the old school models and the AI models? Having it being better, because I have seen some of them are getting pretty good at like tropical weather forecasting. There's some evidence there. What from the role of WMO has these AI models made a difference in how we forecast and more accurate?
So yes, so this is one of the things what we are trying to do, and as I said, it's not a group here in Geneva, but a group of meteorological experts around the world that are sitting and trying to and what would the understanding is, those models are getting very good results, sometimes better than what we had before. The second thing, and maybe it's the most important one, is that they are able to do very accurate with very small computational power. That is the amount of computation needed to run a global model simulation of the entire globe is orders of magnitude lower. So it could be tens of times or even 100,000 times faster calculation than the typical numerical weather prediction, which means you can a global model on a PC. Up to now, you needed some super compute sophisticated data centers to run them. And now in this new technology, you can get comparable results with very small or computer resources. And that's the magic here, or the fascinating aspect. We see it outperforming regular some aspect, but not in all of them. So for instance, you talked about tropical meteorology. So one of the things we see that the hurricanes are actually forecasted better by the AI system. While the intensity of the hurricane and the amount of rotation is less accurate. So we still understand why and how, but it's already being used. Understood that that the tracks are better. Now hurricanes, etc., look very seriously on those tracks.
That's interesting. Speaking of tropical, then, so because tropical meteorology is not just local to one spot or another. In the United States, I feel like fortunate that we have hurricane hunters, a lot of balloons launched, but that's over land. So out over all of these very data sparse areas, numerical models, I understand they need good initialization. Then those original factors are kind of more accurate. Does the AI model need that? Is it a little bit different in, like, especially those data sparse areas?
So as far as we understand today, and still under research, like any other model, garbage out. So if you don't feed them with good initial conditions, etc., you cannot get good results. So there's no magic there. They are more efficient, calculation, but if you don't have data, you can't forecast.
So I know this is a emerging technology. I'm kind of going to put you on a spot here. Where do you think this technology with the AI models will be 10 years from now? And it doesn't have to be exact, but just kind of like, what are your ideas? Is this going to be the future of meteorology forecast?
Well, this is very real prediction. So, I was a forecaster, so I'm very cautious when giving predictions.
Absolutely, I understand.
But still, it seems that it's going to be our future. So it seems it's evolving so fast, and there's those possibilities. And but the major, I think, change is going to be actually the delivery of the service. Not only on, when we talk about the models, etc., it's the office. The big change is going to in the front end side of things. You can produce today, as you said, the beginning, a chat GPT that you questions, right? So, as I said, able to have an application where you will ask questions and get automatically,
Wow.
you able to get the answers not only in text, also in video, right? So you know that your AI application that give you images, videos. The videos don't need to be, horses riding on the door. It can be a forecaster standing in front of you and giving guest, right? So think about that kind of a future.
Start thinking about my job here. Yeah, like goodness.
All of us probably need to. Yeah.
Wow. Well, it really is interesting talking with you on this. Just is evolving so much. Some say, and I know you're the expert in this, but something I always say is like today, worst it will ever be, in the sense that tomorrow it's going to be better. It's like this technology is changing so fast. So it's really important to talk to you about this. So thank you very much for taking time with me. Last question. Is there any resources via the WMO people learn more about this? And do you have anything new at the WMO coming to share since you're talking with me here right now?
At the WMO, our effort is on working with the the community of experts to understand. We don't want forecasters around the world to start tools that are not accurate enough. They need to know what is available. They need to know how to use them and when not to use them. So actually, for national, this is a very interesting work, and really, so we have webinars and we have technical meetings, etc. And I really encourage meteorologists and experts to join those events. We just had in September, with the tech companies, with the meteorologists, talking about how to work together and do those synergies between the private and the public sector. We are starting a webinar series. So there's a lot to follow, and there will be probably fascinating things happening.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with me then. It is all very fascinating to me, so I appreciate your time. And yeah, I hope you have a great day.
You too.